Good morning. Welcome to our Sunday meditation and Dharma gathering. Hello, I am John Del Conte. My Dharma name is Won Shingun. I currently live in upstate New York, and I attend the Won Dharma Center up there, but I used to live in Hillsborough and attended this temple for many years, visiting for a few days. So the first time I visited this temple was probably back in 2006. And this was not much long after Reverend Won Gong first established the temple down here. So we're now approaching the 20th anniversary for that. So I just am amazed by how much things have changed. I remember when we first planted many of these shrubs and trees, and now they're mature. And so we originally were in the residence hall, and now we have this large Dharma hall. So all these extensive pathways, et cetera, these are just the physical changes, but we are going to have a celebration in October, so I look forward to joining you for that 20th year anniversary. So as was mentioned today, Reverend Won Gong will share her Dharma talk on the Tao, a deep dive. But today we'll begin our practice by reading the Truth of Il Wan Song on page 12. The Truth of Il Wan Song. Il Wan, one circle, is the original source of all things in the universe, the mind seal of all the Buddhas and sages, and the original nature of all sentient beings, the realm where there is no discrimination regarding great and small, beginning and non-being, the realm where there is no change amid arising and ceasing, coming and going, the realm where wholesome and unwholesome karmic consequences have ceased, the realm where language, names, and signs are utterly void. Through the light of the void and calm numinous awareness, the discrimination regarding great and small, being and non-being appears, whereupon the distinction between wholesome and unwholesome karmic consequences comes into being. Language, names, and signs also become obvious, so that the triple worlds in the 10 directions appear like a jewel in hand. Thus, the creative transformations of true voidness and marvelous existence freely conceal and reveal themselves through all things in the universe, throughout vast eons, without beginning. This is the truth of Il Wan Song. So now let's prepare for sitting by stretching the body. Please stand behind your mats, and Lars will guide us through some gentle back and leg stretches.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning at home. Looks like we have enough space, so it looks like we're good. So just make sure, just be relaxed, maybe rock back and forth, side to side, and find your center point of your body. Make sure your knees are not locked, feet about hip-width apart, shoulders are relaxed, our chin is tucked in. Now you're getting kind of lifted up by the crown of your head, and spine is nice, erect. And let's just breathe in, and then we're breathing out. And imagine you're hugging this big ball of Qi energy, bringing it up, breathing in, and breathing out. Just dump the Qi right and back on top of you. And breathing in, and out. In, and out. Now with me breathing in, let's join our fingers together, breathe in again, push up straight to the sky, breathe out, relax. Make sure you have enough space, go sideways, thank you. Breathing in, breathe in again, push, 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 and relax. Breathe in again, push all the way up and stretch. Breathe in, lock your hands, breathe in again, stretch, and now on your way down, bend forward, scoop your energy ball up, and then breathe in again, bring it up in front of you, push it up into the sky, breathe in again, and breathe out, relax, bend forward. Grab the energy ball, breathing in on the way up, breathe in again, push, and relax. And breathing in. And now just relax you on the bottom. And when we come up, just kind of climb a ladder with your arms. Breathing in and more, bring in front of you. It's kind of you reeling in some silk and straight up into the air. In reverse. And then breathing back out. Going down and reverse your arm movements. And just relax. Now let's rock back and forth, side to side. So let's try something. Let's put your right hands on your hip. And your left hand is reaching out. When you rock to the side, reach over. And then make big circles and reach over. Don't forget to breathe, reach. And reach, and we just rock back and forth, and reach. And reach. Let's switch hands, other side. And reach. Change that pendulum around and reach. Breathe in and reach. And reach. And reach. All right, let's break your brains. Let's bring the other leg, other arm in. One big circle, one small circle. And reach back. And the other side. And big turn, a big steering wheel. And breathing in. And breathe in. And reverse, the other side. And back over there. And reach out over there. That's right, and make sure we move in both arms, not just one. Perfect, thank you. All right, let's relax. And let's imagine you reaching out in front of you and you bring in the Qi energy towards you. And we rock in our hip side to side when we bring it in. And really focus on it's like the Qi rope. Breathe and pull. And breathe and pull. And pull. And now you can push it forward too, the other way around. And push. And push. And don't forget to rock, push. And push. And push. Oh, and now pull back in. And pull. And pull. No, push. And push. And pull. And push. And pull. And push. And pull. 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 Relax. Put your hand on the Danshin. Feel your breathing center. Drop everything. Now drop your hands. Bring them straight in front of you. Let's pull a Qi bow and arrow. Just pull them to one side. Pull the bowstring really taut. And relax. Bring your hands in front of us. To the other side. Hold the tension and relax. To the front. Now imagine that arrow is all of your worries and sorrow and anxiety. Hold that tension and relax. And let's shoot the anxiety away to the other side. Hold, hold, hold. And relax. And back over here. Relax. One more time, breathing in. And relax. Let's drop our hands, breathing in and out. In and out. In and out. Let's put our hands on our hips. Let's circle to the left first and bend forward and make small circles. And breathing on the way up, breathe out on the way out, down. Don't forget to breathe and up and down. And once we're down, let's change directions, breathing in and out. Inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. Rest here for a second. And come back up. Feel like you're getting pulled by your elbow, by your shoulders. And breathing in, bring your hands straight up to the sky. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. And bend forward, pull heaven to earth. Just drop it straight down. Relax, bend your knees slightly. Get pulled by your elbows straight up, breathing in. Stack your vertebrae on top of the other. And relax one last time, breathing in. Hands straight up into the sky. And breathe out. Breathing in, slightly erect yourself and breathe out. Let's put your hands back on your dantian. Relax. Continue to breathe. Drop your arms. Palms out, breathing in. Join our palms above our head and breathing out, bringing our palms down, all the way down, breathing in, and then we're bringing it up. Stay on your tippy toes if you can, and then breathe out. One last time, breathing in, up on your tippy toes, really reach into the sky, and breathe out. Thank you, friends, for joining us this morning. Now please offer 4 bows to the Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, either when standing or kneeling bows. And please look around you, please. If there's some spaces, come forward, scoop to the side. Everybody has enough space. Thank you so much.
With gratitude, I bow to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the marvelous gift of nature and the universe. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of parents and everyone who has given me life and nurtured me. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of fellow beings, the truth of interconnectedness among all beings. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of laws which guides us, protects us, and promotes justice.
The method of sitting meditation. Meditation is simple and easy. Anyone can practice it. Please take time to find your most comfortable position on the floor or in it. Forth and side to side until your body feels centered. Scan your entire body to see if there is any tension. Let go of tension in your face and head, neck, and shoulders. Breathe in. Notice tension. Breathe out. Release any mental or physical uneasiness. Relax your whole body. It is okay to slouch a little bit if that feels more natural. If your body agrees, gradually sit up tall. You may start to feel your lower back growing stronger and your chest and heart opening. Now, open your eyes softly and look straight ahead and simply relax your eyelids. Keep your ears aligned with your shoulders and tuck your chin in slightly. Let your shoulders melt away from your ears. Enjoy the sensation of your arms and hands relaxing. Now, bring your awareness to your tongue. Place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth. While your tongue is relaxed on your palate, pure and clear saliva may gather in the mouth. This is a delightful sign of cool energy ascending. Smile at your calm and clear spirit. Invite your awareness to return to your lower abdomen, your Qi energy field. This is called the Tanjun and is located about 2 inches below your navel. Your Tanjun is the power center for your breathing. If your face or body begins to itch, simply note the itching and let it pass. If your legs ache unbearably, you may change position very slowly so that you maintain a calm stillness and honor the silent practice of those around you. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not be disturbed by them. Do not react to your thoughts or pursue them. They are just thoughts and will disappear by themselves. Continue to bring your awareness back to your Tanjan abiding breath. When your mind is calm, concentrated, perfectly focused, and at peace, you will rest in the realm of samadhi, deep meditation. You will no longer feel any distinction between yourself and others, free from the limits of time and place. We are grateful to sit quietly together, finding the still point within. May we be here now, deeply aware of our ever calm, ever alert spirit.
Page 4. 영주. 전지연기 아심전 만사여해 아심전 전지여와 동일체 아여 전지 영심전. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth.
Minds and hearts, palms together. Prayer for world peace. Grace of heaven and earth, grace of parents, grace of fellow beings, grace of laws. O Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, may we take refuge in Dharma and be filled with compassion and wisdom. May we transform delusion into wisdom, greed into generosity, resentment into gratitude, discord into harmony, and hatred into compassion. May all nations grow and benefit mutually. May the strong help the weak, and may the weak learn and evolve according to Dharma. May all those who have died from world conflicts and disasters be delivered through all obstacles and be at rest. May there be peace throughout the world, and may all beings enjoy tranquility and happiness, living their original true nature. This we pray with our whole hearts.
Page 9.
Ilwan is the realm of samadhi beyond
and that's transcending being and non-being, the origin of heaven and earth's parents, fellow beings, and lost the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened masters, unenlightened people, and sentient beings, still one manifest as both permanence and impermanence, viewed as permanent, still one unfolds into an infinite world that is ever abiding, spontaneous, just as it is, viewed as impermanent, still one unfolds into infinite worlds through the cycle of formation, duration, decay, and extinction of the universe, and the birth, aging, illness, and death of all beings, according to how we use our minds and bodies in the four forms of birth, which transform through the six realms of existence, progressing or regressing with grace, arising from harm or harm from grace. Therefore we unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after Ilwan Sangha Dharma Kaya Buddha, by cultivating our minds and bodies deeply, knowing human affairs and universal principles thoroughly, and using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, until we attain the great empowerment of Ilwan and become one with the nature of Ilwan.
This morning, Reverend Won Gong will share her Dharma Talk, Tao, a deep dive. Let us now practice deep listening as we warmly welcome Reverend Won Gong.
A deep dive. Tao. Ready to dive? In the principal book of Taoism, the Tao Te Ching, we are told the Tao that can be told is not the true Tao. Yet this book keeps on talking about Tao for 81 verses. In Won Buddhism, the Tao lies in using our six senses appropriately according to time and place. So during the silent meditation time, the proper Tao is silence. During Dharma talks, the proper Tao is talking and listening. So now I'd like to talk a little, and you may simply listen. In Korea, some young adults often proselytize on the street by asking this question: do you want to know about Tao? Tao has broad meanings. So many traditions use this word. Just like the concept of God is used in many ways in many traditions. To understand what Tao means, let's check into the historical background of Taoism. Taoism originated in China, with its earliest roots tracing back to the 6th century BCE, strongly influenced by ancient Chinese religious and spiritual beliefs. It can be considered a philosophy, a religion, or a way of life. The philosopher Lao Tzu wrote the main book of Taoism, Tao Te Ching, which is about compassion, humility, and conformity to nature. Historically, the tradition arose in opposition to Confucianism, which focused primarily on proper manners and rules, formal rituals, and social order. Taoism has two faces in Asia, one as a religion and the other as a philosophy. As a religion, it incorporates native shamanism, including rituals and beliefs in deities like the Jade Emperor of Heaven. Come to think of it, my mom honored the kitchen god by offering a bowl of clean water and rice on the kitchen counter. When I traveled to Taiwan many years ago, I visited Taoist temples. They were highly ornate and filled with colorful decorations, loud rituals, and crowd of people burning symbolic paper money and incense. The smoke and noise ran me off. One of the ideals in Taoist religion is to become a Taoist sage with magical powers, attaining longevity and immortality through Qi energy cultivation. When I watched the movie Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, it seemed to me that it was based on Taoist culture. I also loved Kung Fu panda. And I still do. As a philosophy, people practicing Taoism seeks to align themselves with the natural order of the universe, with its unseen, ever-present ebb and flow. The symbol of yin and yang represents the interconnectedness and the balance of complementary and oppositional forces such as light and dark, warm and cool, or life and death. Understanding this, practitioners aim to live in balance with the way of nature. Transcendence of yin and yang is called Wuji, the realm of non-duality. A verse from the Tao Te Ching says, "The Tao is like a well, used but never used up. It is like the eternal void, filled with infinite possibilities." Voidness, infinite possibility. Does this ring a bell for you from the truth of Il Wan Sang? The Chinese character Tao is translated as the way and is found in many places throughout Won Buddhist scriptures. For example, Sotaesan, our founding teacher, commented, Taoism took the way of the natural universe as its core principle and taught techniques for nourishing original nature. It elucidates the path of tranquility and non-action. Chongsan, the second Dharma master of Won Buddhism, cautioned the essence of Taoism is non-action and spontaneity. But if one approaches non-action and spontaneity incorrectly, one becomes self-indulgent and licentious. After Taoism was introduced to Korea from China many centuries ago, it merged the indigenous practice of shamanism with Buddhism. Won Buddhism incorporates and integrates the philosophical elements of Taoism, Confucianism, and classical Buddhism. As we study more together in these fast-moving modern times, I hope you can taste the flavor of these ancient teachings within Won Buddhism's practical applications. Tao can be referred to not only as the way, but also as truth and Dharma. Tao has multifaceted meanings. When we think of Tao, we often relate it to nature. As found in nature, the key value of Tao is non-action, which means conducting oneself without pretense or artifice. Lao Tzu says to live like water. Water flows downward with humility. With its gentle nature, water flows around obstacles without resistance. Tao also refers to the ultimate reality. It is the natural order of the universe and the underlying principle that governs all things. In Won Buddhism, this aspect of Tao is expressed as the universal principles great and small, being and non-being. Taoist philosophy in Won Buddhism is also found through the teaching, grace of heaven and earth. Heaven, sky, sun, planets, stars, the Milky Way, the universe. Earth, the ground we stand on. In the scriptures of Won Buddhism, the grace of heaven and earth is expressed like this. In heaven and earth, there is the way, Tao, and its manifestation. The spontaneous motion of the great mechanism of the universe is the way of heaven and earth. To help us reflect and model ourselves on the Tao of heaven and earth, Sotaesan described its 8 great qualities. Bodhi. How many great qualities? While you are listening. 1, exceedingly radiant, as nothing blocks the brightness of our innate wisdom. 2, exceedingly steadfast through deep sincerity and dedication in all that we do. 3, exceedingly just and fair by following the middle way. 4, proper and natural by being reasonable. 5, vast and immeasurable, being free from partiality. 6, eternal and imperishable, liberated from changes occurring in all things through birth, aging, illness, and death. 7, free from good or bad fortune, not being easily enticed by the daily ups and downs of our lives. 8, free of thought in its applications. Free of thought in its applications, harboring no sign after rendering beneficence. These 8 great attributes guide us to reflect and model ourselves on the Tao of heaven and earth. Of these 8 Tao, the last one is considered as the ultimate Tao, free of thought in its applications. This means that whatever we do, we should do it without holding any expectation of an outcome or acknowledgement. This is what we mean by harboring no sign. Our Dharma teachers often remind us how the person of Tao appropriately responds and interacts with the world. This is called the way of humanity. In our scripture book, there is an entire chapter about embodying the way of humanity. Let me introduce the first verse from this chapter. A newcomer to Won Buddhism asks about the Tao. Sotaesan replies that the Tao is vast and can only be fully understood with a substantial practice and training. Nevertheless, he gives it this explanation. Thank you. He said, generally speaking, the way Tao is another name for path. What we mean by path is the way to conduct ourselves appropriately in any and all circumstances. The conduct of heaven is called the Tao of heaven. The conduct of earth is called the Tao of earth. The conduct of human beings is called the Tao of humanity. The scripture continues, just as physical roads connect each and every region via a network of main roads and side roads, connecting mountains, water, fields, and villages, so too the path of our spiritual conduct progresses through main roads and side roads, appearing as many paths in accordance with the conditions of individuals, families, societies, and nations. If I were to offer just a few examples, Sotaesan said, between parents and children, there is a path for parents and children to follow. Between superior and subordinate, a path for superior and subordinate to follow. Between spouses, a path for spouses. Among friends, a path for friends. And among countrymen, a path for fellow citizens to follow. A path for fellow citizens to follow. In this manner, he summarized, for any situation or circumstance we may encounter, there are suitable paths. Regardless of the situation, a person who simply knows the suitable path is a person who knows the way, the Tao. This passage reminds us of the Tao of heaven and the Tao of earth, which reflects basic Taoist philosophy. The Tao of humanity explains that in every relationship and situation, there are appropriate paths to take. This perspective also reflects the philosophy of Confucianism. Are you with me? Sotaesan said, if we were to speak of the greatest Tao of them all, it is the Tao that is free from arising and ceasing, and free from the retribution and response of cause and effect. This is the way of our original true nature. This Tao unifies all dharmas, heaven, earth, and humanity. End quote. The ultimate Tao of no arising and no ceasing is central in Buddhist philosophy. The Tao free from arising and ceasing, and free from the retribution and response of cause and effect. What does this mean? Human minds are cluttered with words and thoughts, judging, worrying, and discriminating thoughts constantly arise and cease, arise and cease. Through our thoughts, we create karma. The greatest Tao is freeing ourselves from the constant arising of thoughts. A piece of land without yin and yang. A piece of land without yin and yang. A valley without echo. A valley without echo. These koans describe a realm free from arising and ceasing. This Tao leads us inward, where there is no urgency and no need to reply, respond, or react. As practitioners, we aspire not to be swayed when sensory conditions arise. The Tao of no rising and no ceasing elucidates the reality of the universe. In the big picture of time and space, heaven and earth neither arise nor cease. All things abide without beginning or end. In conclusion, I would like to say that Tao is not somewhere on top of a mountain or in a faraway, lofty place. It permeates every part of our lives. Here in the temple, at home, at work, and everywhere we go, and in all that we do. Here in the Dharma Hall, you are a person of Tao. If you agree, you are a person of Tao. You come in, you bow, you meditate during meditation time, you converse during Dharma sharing time, and you return your mat when departing. You go with the flow. For online friends, there is Tao in how you practice at home. For example, during our chanting session, you can chant quietly or loudly according to what works for your home situation. Tao is the moral, mindful, and skillful way of respecting others and progressing together as a community. It is constant and fluid, beyond definition. Taking this deep dive today, you may have noticed I've said the word Tao a lot. I checked 67 times. I hope you're not drowning in words. I hope you are simply going with the flow. As was mentioned when I began, the Tao that can be told is not the true Tao.
Thank you so much, Reverend Won Gong. Thank you for that deep dive into Taoism, both its historical roots and its relationship to principles of Buddhism and to Won Buddhism and to a spiritual journey in general. How to conduct our lives on a spiritual path appropriately in all situations, arising and ceasing, with no arising and ceasing and no expectations. I think that if we could all live our lives like the water flowing down with humility, our world would be a much better place. So thank you for that. And now, thank you all for your deep listening. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on Won Gong's words, which cannot be put into words. And friends at home, during the next few minutes, you're welcome to share your thoughts or takeaways in the live chat, or enjoy a few minutes of quiet contemplation. And friends in the Dharma Hall, please turn to one or two folks next to you and share your thoughts with each other.
guys, what do you want to say about today's talk? Any your thoughts and reflections?
So, me and my mom were talking about Tao, and we both thought of when we were at a water park, and there is a thing called a lazy river where it like goes and you get in a float and it pushes you. But if you try to fight like against it, then it's gonna be way harder than actually like letting it go yourself. And that's what we thought. That's what we thought about Tao.
How wonderful it has been to practice with everyone today. This October 6th to be exact, at the Won Dharma Center in Hudson Valley, where John lives and practices near the Catskill Qi Gong, and Reverend Ginger will guide a week-long retreat. The theme is Gratitude Awakening, and is promised to be a truly amazing retreat experience. Registration is open on the website.
Do you all have any plans next Monday? If you don't, or if you do and you want to cancel your plans, you can instead spend your Memorial Day, which is next Monday, at our annual day-long meditative-thon for peace. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Not this Monday,
next Monday. But yes, our meditative-thon for peace at the Chapel Hill Temple. All day long, starting at 10 a.m., meditation sessions will be held every half hour. For planning purposes, it would be helpful if you could sign up on our website ahead of time, but you're welcome to drop in as well. If you're in our community email list, more details and information will be sent to you.
Starting this Thursday, our Dharma study groups will be starting a new book, Method of Sitting Meditation. And you may have heard Patty give a Dharma talk on it recently. It's Thursdays at 10 a.m. or 7 p.m. online or in person. And we are starting this book, and all are welcome at any time, Thursdays.
The Won Buddhism intro class will be held on May 31st, which is a Saturday at 2 p.m., and that will be at the Raleigh Temple. This is a really great opportunity to learn the essential teachings of both traditional Buddhism and Won Buddhism. It's highly recommended, and I'll be there too.
And our world famous children's Dharma camp in June is quickly approaching, and there are only a few spots available, so if you have not signed up and you have a child that would like to attend, please do so quickly.
For a double dose of calm, you're invited to join us today at 4 p.m. for meditation at our Raleigh Temple, which is nestled in the peaceful forest near Falls Lake.
Now let us turn to page 13 and bless each other with our morning prayer song. Kaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day in your presence. Today, full of health and with peace of mind, may I walk along the path of the Buddha. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day with your grace. Today, gratefully and with gentle words, may I live in harmony
us waving our hands to online friends. Thank you for joining us, and bow to our friends next to us.